Okay, that is our experimentation with manifestation for those of you who is doing it for the first time. Most certainly, those of you who have been practicing would have had another group session, a powerful group session with many. We'll absolutely get better at everything that we are doing because we are so sincere in practicing it. As you are relaxing, let's understand the manifestation science some more. Our thoughts and feelings create our outer reality. I say this so many times because at the end of the day, the moment we say our thoughts and feelings create reality, friends, there will never be a situation where we point to somebody else and say it is because of you this is happening to me. When we be of that, when we become of it, we recognize everything small to big is absolutely constantly being drawn by us into our life. Our today is because of our past. Our tomorrow is because of today. The way we think and feel. So there are four types of thoughts: disastrous thoughts, negative thoughts, positive thoughts, miraculous thoughts. Disastrous, negative, positive, miraculous. Suppose you're setting out on a project. That this project is going to make a big difference to that company that you are delivering it. A disastrous thinking person is saying, suppose they don't have experience in that big thing because they're delivering for this big company, they have to scale it up, make it big. They don't have experience enough. A disaster thinking person is saying, oh, I think I'm going to absolutely, we just don't have experience. I don't know how we agreed for this. We're going to fail like crazy. Let's see. First meeting, we're going to go in there and they're going to find out, they're going to tell us and then say you're fit for nothing because we'll not be able to address what they're going to ask. Because a lot of times we have the fear, right? Because we're not delivered, we don't know what's required. We start with that and we go into the meetings. Maybe 2 meetings, 3 meetings where you're just even in the planning stage because you're thinking so badly. And then you are giving in, and then somebody is going to point and then find out that something is missing drastically. Or you have the talent, but you keep thinking that it's because you've not done it at all before. So they're going to say, what are you guys saying? This is not going to happen for us. We're canceling the contract right in the beginning. A disaster thinking person will get the contract cancelled because you are thinking that most horrible things will happen. And what is the horrible thing in a business when you're doing a project? the contract get cancelled. There can be even worse things beyond that. It is somebody coming on to you. A negative thinking person is saying, yeah, I know it's a big project. We don't have enough capability. We've not done this before. I don't know. Along the way, I'm sure things may not work that well, but we're going to give it a try. But things won't work. It'll get implemented. Things are going to fail. Because how is it possible? Why did my CEO take this? We want to give it a try, but I can tell you it's got to fail. It'll probably work for a day, but it's got to fail. You know? Because you are thinking too much of what you know. And then that's what happens. So you start, you execute, you deliver it, and deploy it. But then you said it, no, it's going to fail. Because you said it with a lot of feeling, so it's going to fail. So it'll fail. So after 2-3 days, it fails. So objective's gone again. No money. A positive thinking person taking the same project is saying, we understand, I don't know technology, or I don't know this enough. We have not done this as such a big project, but we want to implement it. I'm sure we will be successful. We will implement it. Yeah, there may be some problem here and there will be there, but we know how to solve them. Problems will come. Problems will come. I'm going to solve them. And we will implement whatever it may be. Yes, it's going to be tough for me. Remember these words. It's going to be tough for us. It's going to be challenging. It'll be tough, but we'll implement. So positive thinking person, they roll the project, they implement it, but they also said, yes, some problems will come. It'll be tougher. So they probably have taken longer than what the timeline has been given. If 3 months is given, they would have taken 4 months or 5 months. But they will implement it. And the client is saying, hey, you guys have done a great job. I'm proud of you. But they've gone through some anxious moments. They've taken long time. So client was breathing down their neck in between. And they did envision problems. So the problems were coming because they said, okay, problems will come. So we're going to deal with them. A miraculous thinking person is saying, tell you what, I have the talent. Whatever we've done in the past can be absolutely applied here. It is, we know they've got the clarity. We are going after it. They gave us 3 months time, but we're going to finish in 2 months. And we want to take this as a great reference customer to the next one. I'm going to implement it and we will be absolutely successful. They're never doubting. They're never fearful, and then they go after it. And when you're thinking miraculous, it's all thought. It's just everything is thought. It's all in your mind. And then you're going after in that without any doubting, without any uncertainty about this, and whether I know, don't know, but you're going in and executing it. Your team cooperates, you're motivating them, inspiring them. So in 2 months, you finish. Client has given you great appreciation and said, come, take my deal 2, project 2 now. I want you to do something more for me. So this person also goes through challenges, but then they are not thinking that it is not possible at any given time. They're not thinking about challenges. They're not thinking about problems. Their only target is that it is going to be absolutely successful and I'm on it. So negative, disastrous thinking, negative thinking, positive thinking, miraculous thinking. Dear friends, we have these 4 options at any given time. You can apply this to even just as simple as cooking a dish. Something new you're trying. No, I now tried this thing, this Moroccan couscous, something I tried during lockdown. My family each of us was trying a competition. Each of us were trying different dishes. My son, my daughter, myself, and my wife, Vani. All of us are 4 different things, but it's a great competition. Try new, and then we can be disastrous, and then nobody can eat it. You got to just put it down the drain. Are you miraculous? And it'll be like so good. Your presentation is good, your taste is good, the energy is good of the dish. Everything is going to be so good. when you think miraculous and then go into it. So what if you're trying new first time? It all comes from, not from arrogance, friends. It comes from the understanding that we are taking that intelligence and help from the quantum field. What did it say? Everything is there waiting to happen in this reality, in this energy field. Everything is there. A negative experience is there, a disastrous experience is there, and a miraculous experience is there. It is up to us to choose. It's not somebody else is giving. If you are a group, then you ask the question, what happens to the group? Yes, that's the job of the leader to rally the group together and then say that they're all on the same thought and feeling. And it happens when the leader connects to everybody. Leader makes feel that yes, you and me are one. The leader is not bossing, right? And many things are there. We will learn too. And meditation is, of course, making that heart opening elevation is where we are becoming one with everybody. So we're not sure you are better, I'm greater. And then when we make people comfortable, when we take care of the people, and then we can then rally them together, we have the same goal and make things happen. It takes time. Everything takes time, but it is choice is there with us. So that's one. So one is, in order to change our thoughts and feelings, thought is this 4 types of thought, then we're moving into the positive and miraculous thinking all the time. And second, elevated thought is about setting an inspiring goal. Within this, we set an inspiring goal that every day we wake up and then dream about it. We get excited about living that tomorrow because we know we got something to achieve. Age is no bar. If somebody decided to live for 120 years, we can live for 120 years. We got to do something, dear friends. Always we got to do something. Break that convention that, okay, now 60 years, you are now retired, so you don't do anything. No way. Why not? We have so much knowledge. Why not we share that knowledge? Why not we teach meditation? We set a goal for ourselves that I am teaching. For example, Lawrence said, every day I speak to one person on meditation, teaching meditation. We can do it. We do to everybody we know. And then when we exhaust a list, then we pick up randomly if call and then call. Why not? We used to do. Patriji got this, and we used to just go to door and then give a pamphlet. So many people have done door-to-door pamphlet because we believe that it's going to help others. When we believe, when we have experienced it, we want to give it to others, right? Always the case. So that's elevated thought. Have an inspiring goal, visualize, dream what we have done, what I covered yesterday. You can go back and listen to that and now what does it mean by dreaming, as if it's happening in our life today. And elevated feeling is the second one, dear friends. So feelings are originating from a lot of beliefs and habits that we have formed inside of us, the perception that we formed inside of us. So we got to change, we got to reprogram, and the feelings are coming out of these beliefs that are there in our body, in our mind. There's some subconscious. We got to reprogram these beliefs. For my company, when we grew for some time and then we stayed flat for a long time there, we were not growing revenue anymore for 2 years, and I was challenged. We're burning cash, we're not profitable. In a software company, it's generally like that. You're only looking for growth, not for profit, because you have to see maximum clients and then growth, but never bothered about profit. You keep getting money, investment. So we're burning cash, we're not growing. And that's the time I got this understanding from You Are the Placebo, that yes, there are these core beliefs that we form over a period of time when we're executing projects. And I formed a belief that as an Indian company, it's going to be tough to get acquired, even though that is the premise for starting the company. But as I went and then knocked on various VCs and venture capitalists and clients in the United States, because all the companies that acquire us are in the United States, because that's the kind of software we're making. And so there, all clients were telling me, in spite of having best clients in India and Middle East, the top clients like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Reliance, they all were using a software, but yet they were asking, do you have a client here? Will you come to me when you have a client here? So it became a catch-22. Then I formed a belief that, okay, if I didn't have clients, it's tough to get acquired or get some business here. So some said, okay, India company, not sure the governance aspect of it, this and that. Then another belief formed. So likewise, when I looked at it and said, okay, there are 5 beliefs I found for myself, that I don't have global clients, that it's an India company, it's going to be tough to get acquired by somebody out there, and so on, so on, so on. So we all have beliefs that we have to reprogram ourselves. And otherwise, these beliefs are constantly coming in our way. They're constantly coming in our way. So the beliefs are either their expectations, their assumptions, their opinions of others. You're making conclusions about a place or a person or a market. And these beliefs are generally formed. Typically, they're formed by the age. Our personality is formed based off a lot of beliefs. And personality is typically getting formed till the age of 35. For example, an assumption that, like I said, women have disadvantage in society. You know that there are several women who are also very successful. Men have to work hard. We have to work hard, otherwise it's not going to happen. Hard is required, but you can also be very smart in the way you work. I come from a poor background, so it's tough to make it. My body gets wrinkled with old age. It is a belief formed, right? By the time we get to 35, we form that belief. How many people resonate with that? But my body will get wrinkled with old age. But at the same time, we see brilliantly, even at 80, if Karthikeyan G is brilliantly there, but how is that possible? For some people, they are looking very young, and then some are changing. It's because they are believed. Then you already accepted that, okay, things are going to be that way. There is a new science, epigenetics, saying that 94% of our genes can be reprogrammable. So then you start questioning, is there something called hereditary? How much of that can apply? How are people, those who, even though in their family condition they had all of those, but still are able to live a beautiful life? That epigenetics is a great science. It's coming up to say that everything that you got, that you thought is coming from a father or mother or from grandfather, parents, it's reprogrammable just with a thought and feeling, because you are going and expressing new genes. I'm a new protein of a gene. So the beliefs like that my body becomes wrinkled, or I come from a poor background, I come from my company never takes care of employees, that itself can be a belief too. We never get raised beyond this. I'm unlucky. I'm always unlucky. Everything happens to me in my life. Is a belief which we form over a period. I'm not valued. Why is this I'm not valued comes? Because during the childhood, if parents and teachers in the classes, when you say something, or they've casually made comments about you in a relative circle, they also didn't know about it, but say, yeah, my son, he does not get good scores. The poor fellow may be trying so much, but we say doesn't get good score. So we just take out the value. Whatever that he does, if we take out that without knowing, and then they get to know about this, then they feel that there's no value. No matter how much I do, there's no value. Because we, in many times, we always attach something to result, and if the result is not there, then we're taking the value out of the person, and as a result, we carry that into our life and say, okay, we're not valued. So when we feel we're not valued, then we generally not going and giving our 100%, because we inherently, we already made that belief that I'm not valued anyway. So how does it matter? If I work hard also, nobody's going to accept, nobody's going to recognize this much. So that is one of the core reasons why we don't drive ourselves to work, because we feel deep inside we're not valued. We feel deep inside we're not accepted. Every time you said something in your childhood, or no, even now, if your work environment, suppose you joined fresh, if that work environment, the seniors around are constantly telling you, oh, I have this idea, it won't work. If they tell you back, I cannot do this. No, I think, that may not work at all. They constantly say, if you get a no, in your childhood, if you get a no constantly, Mom, I want to go for a movie. Not today. Can I go out to play with your friends? Later. Can I do this? No. Can you give me 100 rupees? No. When you have so many no's, then we develop this thing called not accepted. I'm not accepted in this environment. Child cannot go away, right? Child has to grow up with a parent. So you grow up in an environment where you feel inherently they're not accepted. And that projects into wherever you go. That projects into wherever you go. So there you go. We got people again drawing. So the belief systems that we form are coming either from the childhood or coming because of the environment. Like in my case, over a period of 15 months when I was executing, I formed the belief that this is not possible, that's not possible. And then some of you are new joining in the companies feel that way because you feel that, okay, I'm in this, but then they're not accepted. And then after 18 months, after a year, 6 months of trying, then you give up and say, okay, now I'm not going to try anything new. I'll just do what they want me to do, right? Half engaged. But we got to be aware, dear friends, of our beliefs and then constantly work towards reprogramming. So there is something called an empowering belief. So we develop an empowering beliefs. We don't lower ourselves or reduce our capacity by getting into these beliefs. We got to develop an empowering beliefs. Now, what is an empowering belief? I'll tell you. Rather than putting the blame on environment and surrounding, the empowering belief is putting it on you. If the field has got infinite intelligence, is it possible that somebody in your environment can continue to stop you? And you are becoming that infinite intelligence. So how is it possible that somebody can stop you? And then examples can be, for example, Mahatma Gandhi's example. No matter what the situation is, in adverse situations, he always felt and believed that independence is possible with non-violence. And he pursued it for 42 years, perseverance. Against all odds, Mother Teresa came from humble background but became so great service-oriented person, world bowed to her. Against all odds, if Dhirubhai Ambani could create a system of this whole business environment against nothing. So that's what an empowering belief is saying, that if there is somebody in my life where I can look at it and take an inspiration from. First, empowering belief says that I am that everything. This quantum field has got everything that I want. So even if I want to put my idea forward, this idea will be accepted, because that is a possibility that I want to latch on to. Number one, first we have to understanding that is a possibility that it will be accepted. And then number two is then you find an example of somebody new like you, whose idea has been accepted. You would take that inspiration. So you change your limiting belief into an empowering belief by finding an inspiration where in the same conditions they have done it. So if somebody says, I'm poor, I come from a poor background, and it's going to be tough to make in my life. Then we say, if Dhirubhai Ambani can come from a poor background, if Rajnikantji can come from a poor background, can I will be one like that. Yes, we have a reason to dream. So we have to change our beliefs to empowering belief. Because a lot of times our idea is not accepted or something because we already made up in your mind that, oh man, these guys are not going to accept me today. And we made up our mind and we go into that meeting like that, so they're not going to accept it. So we have to write down whatever goal that you've written yesterday, we got to write down what are the limiting beliefs that I have that for my goal. So my company acquisition was a target for me, and for that I had 5 limiting beliefs. My investors were not known in the world, so it's tough. I didn't have global customers, it's tough. I turned around later. My global customer thing solved by saying Reliance is global, Tatas are global. If I have my clients as them and they're recognized, and so sure everybody will recognize them. I'm an India company. Yes, if Flipkart could acquire so much investment, so I can get that too. Is change that belief. You find a possibility for making things happen. So when I change this belief, and then what do you do with the belief? So you write down your empowering beliefs one by one, 1, 2, 3, 4. What are my limiting beliefs for my goal that I constantly think, right? What are my limiting beliefs? And then you write them down, and then write an empowering belief for each one. That, for example, I am getting promoted. I need promotion. That's your goal. I'm promoted to the senior director. Now your limiting belief is, I don't have enough experience. Write an empowering belief. It is a possibility for me to get there. And then so and so XYZ in the past who is very young has gotten promotion. So write that and say, if he is able to get it, I'm getting that too. So like that, you've got to write down your limiting beliefs for each goal and then write an empowering belief. And then you're going to utilize that in your manifestation music, that time, that visualization time. First you affirm your goal, and then in the sequence you do is what? You release your empowering goals. It's called affirmations. Basically, they become affirmations. Your new empowering affirmations. You had a limiting affirmation in your mind over a period of time. Now you got to reprogram your mind by doing these empowering affirmations again and again and again. Go back to learn, do, be. We learn the science, now we got to do it, we got to apply it. So in your meditations or in your daytime, you take your mind movie sequence and you keep visualizing about it. Part of that, you release, you affirm your goal, and then you affirm your empowering beliefs one by one. I have these global clients like Tatas and Birla, so I'm going to be successful. My company will be recognized. If Flipkart is successful in gaining investments, even though I'm India company, I'll be gaining that investment. I'm gaining that investment. So this is how I had changed my beliefs, and every day I used to reprogram myself. I used to visualize and dream that those are possibilities, so my possibility exists too. And now I put target on who is going to come and acquire or whatever. We can do that, dear friends, and it works. It works for many people. Like we heard from Naga Pradeep, that having that, okay, I need to have good amount of salary was a requirement for him, because he was doing a lot of service work and was also donating constantly. And he had that, and he had something else. But he put that in his vision that there is a good amount of hike he needs it, and make it as clear as possible. Make it as, it's a long subject. Make it as clear as possible, and then hopefully we'll try to get something in the newsletters to cover it. But this is it. So elevated thoughts are about setting an inspiring goal. Elevated feeling is about writing for that goal, what are your limiting beliefs, and then for each one write and develop an empowering belief. You got to develop an empowering belief for each of those. All right. So I just gotten, we're going to close this in another 5 minutes. I've gotten a goal here. For example, I'm running a successful company as CEO with 100 employees. If that is your goal, you want to start something. Then limiting belief is, I don't have business experience and hence it's going to be difficult. First thing that comes to your mind, right? Because people around you also will tell, hey, why are you wasting time? You're going to be failing. You don't know what it means to run a company. An expanding belief can be, many businessmen like Bill Gates did not have such experience, right? Bill Gates didn't have. There is the first time for him, he was a young student. Initially, either were highly successful in running a big business, so I can do it. That is your success belief, empowering belief, or expanding belief. Okay. So, like that, dear friends, you can develop these empowering beliefs, and the expanding beliefs. There are a few more things that we do. Meditation is a present moment awareness, is a must. Only then you can recognize what is the limiting belief you have, the thought you have that is coming and stopping in your way. Because on one side you visualize and dream, I was always doing that positively, but on the other side, these limiting beliefs are there in subconscious, which you don't have control of. It's constantly projecting, so you don't even recognize that you're thinking negative. So meditation has to be there so that you become present moment aware. As a result, you know that okay, you are onto this old story. You got to change the old story, right? Second, we got to read. Beliefs are, a lot of times beliefs are solved by expanding our understanding. We got to read or listen. Like when we understood Naga Pradeep yesterday, and when we understand my story, when we read Bill Gates' story, when we read Dhirubhai Ambani's story and Mahatma Gandhi's life history, when we read some of this success, if you want to become successful, rich, you got to read people what rich people have done. You got to become a service-oriented person, do what service people have done. You got to teach meditation, do what other people who are teaching meditation have done. You got to read about them. It's natural, right? Rich becomes richer, poor becomes poor only because of that. This depends on who do you hang out with and what do you do. You got to hang out. If you want to become very successful, then hang out with successful people. Go to that conference. We generally don't change our environment because that's called changing our environment. We got to change our environment too, and we got to change our thought and feeling. The feeling is the beliefs when you read these books. And then suddenly make those affirming, empowering beliefs. When you do these three friends, regular meditation, expand our knowledge and wisdom. I'm not a lucky person. In order to change that belief, it takes time. We got to understand this quantum physics enough. We got to understand this field, and we got to understand the Vedas enough and say when the Vedas said Aham Brahmasmi, I mean, it's not a general statement. It is said Aham Brahmasmi means I'm Brahma, I'm the God. So what is the limit for a God? Do you think there is a limit for the God? But then why is that we all thinking limited? Just because we just been conditioned to feel that way. Many successful leaders, many leaders just did not know. Many knew, but many did not know. But this is how it is working. But they never looked back. They never felt limited by people around them. But they always thought ahead and they stayed on course. That's all is required. Nothing more. Nothing more. There is no miraculous power that has to come and then do. It is all saying that your thoughts and feelings and environment create a reality. We change the environment to the right thing and then we change the thought and feeling inside. And then we make miracles and then we make things happen for us. And we apply this technique. Then there is something called surrender, which is then like that mother. So I want to just conclude by saying what is the 5-point formula for manifestation. First thing is be in the present moment with simple breath meditation, which we are doing all the time. We're directing our energy into the present moment each time we're emptying our mind. So we're not dissipating our energy, we're putting all that energy back into the present moment, right? Because all our thoughts are reducing. That's one. Second, we recognize that there is an intelligent quantum energy field. So we're spending as much time by emptying ourselves and becoming that energy. We're open to that possibilities. When you are empty, you're not thinking limited. You're not thinking that, okay, this is how I can do it. This is how I can achieve it. In wakeful time, we'll only make a plan based on what we know. But quantum field can give you something even most unexpected way. So that's the idea. Here we have to become open to the unlimited possibilities. That means whatever we know, we have to keep aside. When you are in this meditation, we are keeping aside. So then you are receiving any synchronicity, any messages and this and that. So suddenly things can happen for you. You want to start a business, for example, our linear thinking is, okay, my circle only these 2 3 people are there, so maybe I'll go to that person and then ask that person for help. These are linear thinking, right? You're starting a business, you need some help, so whoever you know is whom, you say I'll go and approach them. Fair enough, that much is right. But we fix to that and say this is the way. But unlimited possibility is where you're open and say, you don't close off and say, okay, that's all I know, my circle. No. When you're open, then suddenly something can come and say, hey, you know what? Go and attend this conference there. SVB is speaking. SVB sir is speaking. Attend this conference, and you go there, and that message will come. You go there, then suddenly it opens up a possibility of meeting several new people, and who knows, that person is responding, resonating to you, and then you make a new connection right there. So it's called opening, being open to the possibilities. That's all we have to do. So recognize that intelligence is there. And third one is elevate your thoughts by setting a clear vision of the future. And we got to recall it regularly. Elevate your feelings by reprogramming the past beliefs. So I talked about empowering beliefs. You got to create the empowering beliefs for your goal, and then affirm them every day, and then do this visualization that we've done. Dream about the new future. With the thoughts and with the feelings, everything, dream about the new future of you as if it's happening in your life right now. Creative visualization. And we repeat this regularly. Friends, if we do this, and then we're already doing 1 and 2 all the time, right? We're doing 1 and 2. All we're doing is now 3 and 4 we're going to add in, right? That's it. We add 3 and 4. We're creating your goals, maybe 2, 3 goals, and then put them together as a sequence. Put them together and then think of your dream of your new future and then put it into it. So we're going to do this meditation tomorrow again, this time with a lot more understanding, right? And then apply this. I'm not going to call this core limiting beliefs. That's it. So we will learn some more. While the subject may be more, we'll learn some more about this as we go in the next 3 days more. A little bit more about explain about this beliefs as well as goals. Can we do with one goal, multiple goals, and all that, dear friends? But needless to say that having a goal and then having the right, writing the right empowering beliefs for it are sufficient to reprogram our mind so that nothing comes in our way in manifesting that reality, dear friends. It's a very, very powerful concept. And some of the books to start on this are, we'll write it in the groups, but certainly You Are the Placebo, Biology of Belief, Feeling Prosper, The Secret, The Nature of Personal Reality by Seth, Jerry Hicks and Abraham Hicks, their books. So these are some of the masters who covered this whole manifestation extensively. So, and whatever I said is also a law of attraction. I will cover that a little bit, but it's the same. It's all the same. It's all what you think is what you attract. All right. So with that, dear friends, thank you very much.